And we are live, I think. You'll let me know if you guys can hear me and see me okay and all that stuff. And if there's any issues on your end, audio's okay, video's okay. Hey, Tony. Hey, Karsten. Hey, Himley. Good to see you, my friend. And Demistic. Good to see you too. um, Can you guys hear me okay or see me? All okay. Okay, great. Hey, Miguel, good to see you. You guys will notice that I'm joined by a very special guest today up in the corner of my screen there. He was almost too big to fit in the room, but he did. So, hey. Okay, well, good to see you guys here today. Hey, Carl, good to see you. I'll admit, I didn't have much in the way of stuff to go over or anything. I was just more than anything just wanted to hang out with you guys for a little bit. Hey, oh, stop it. Hey, Giacchini, good to see you. I hope I said that right. If not, sorry. Hey, Panagiatis, good to see you. You love my buddy. Thank you. Thank you. I'm fond of him myself. He's the newest addition to our family. He's a little worse for the wear, but hey, you know, we can't all have nice things like skin and flesh and stuff. So, yeah. So, yeah, like I was saying, hey, Dark Spoon, good to see you. I don't have too much in the way of an agenda here today. I was just more coming to, how's Dom coming along, says Carl. Oh, good question, Carl. I figured that would be answered. Flesh is overrated. Seth, hey, man, good to see you. Chris was typing ahead. Nice. It is indeed. It's the decoration that can go through Halloween and then through Christmas and then however else long you want him to go on. So, yes. So, Carl, your question: how's Dom coming along? Honestly, it's coming. Hey, Frankie. I'll get to your question, Carl. I promise. I think it's coming along pretty well. There's still a lot of work to be done, obviously. But when I'm able to just look at it, like I've been very happy with a lot of the stories that have been happening, a lot of the stuff that's been happening. Looks like a nice set of games behind me. Why, indeed it does, Adam. Indeed it does. And hello, good to see you. There's other ones around here too, but I just couldn't quite fit them in the frame. So, like Twisted Fables, for instance, which I'm guessing some of you at least got recently. Deep Madness Season 3, says David. It is coming. It is coming, I promise. When? I'm not sure. It won't be this year, obviously. But it won't be our next project, because our next project is going to probably be Celestial, which is it's a game that we've been working on as long as we've been working on Dawn of Madness. So we're very interested in that. Oh, hey, HP Gaming from Australia. Wow, well, thanks for being here. Hey, Michael, good to see you. And Steve, good to see you too. Any idea when delivered? I'm going to guess that is for Dawn of Madness. If that is for Dawn of Madness, then we recently had a delay, which we announced on the Kickstarter project. Oh, Bill, good to see you, man. Man, I keep getting off track, guys. Hey, you know, if you've been to a live stream with me before, you know that this is kind of the way things go. I will get back to your questions eventually, I promise. But yeah, yeah. Greetings from Poland. Wow. Well, thanks for being here. I'm gonna try to get this right. Radislav. Let me know if I did that right. If not, feel free to correct me. Where could I send the pictures of the object that materialized in my home in 19... 1987. Do you have an email? Ah, Marquis, I missed you. Anthony, hey, good to see you. And Squall, wow, welcome from France. Man, that's awesome. We've got people from all over the world here today. That's great. Thanks, guys. Thanks for being here. That's fantastic. Okay, so which question was I getting back to? It was correct. Wow. I don't know how I did that. Good. Howdy from Sweden. Wow. Rat with a tool. Hey, Tony. Well, welcome, and it's great to have you here, my friend. Welcome to to these weird live streams. First one we've done in a while, but hopefully not the last one we'll do soon. So, okay, so Dawn of Madness. Okay. Wow, Costa Rica. Hello, Gamers Rush. Man. Okay, so Dawn of Madness. Yes, so it's we did have a delay recently, which we announced on Kickstarter. So it's probably going to be next October rather than this October. So there's been definitely some gap there, and definitely some changes there. But as far as how the game's actually going, like how we're feeling about things, that sort of thing, I think we're feeling very good. Hi from Spain. Well, welcome as a Kelm. I hope I said that right. Man, it's great to have you here. But yeah, so we're I'm feeling very good about the stories. The team's feeling really good about the game and the game mechanics. They're testing it constantly. Will October just be wave one or everything? It will probably just be okay. Sorry, guys. I just saw several questions there that I was looking away from, and so they just distracted me again. Okay. Dark Spoon, you asked, will that just be wave one or everything? That will probably just be wave one stuff. Because where I'm at in the writing and that sort of thing, I don't think it's possible to get an additional 4 books done, as well as the 4 that will be required for the expansion. But when can we see gameplay, says Seth, as well as Carl? Soon, very soon. We're putting finish. I mean, I realize I keep saying that it's coming. It really is coming. Hey, Russ, you made it. Good to see you, my friend. And Lord Kainchen from Germany. Wow, that's awesome. Thanks for being here. Okay. Okay. So going back a little bit. Sorry, guys. Okay. When can we see new gameplay videos? Well, I realize I've been saying this for a while, but it really is coming. It really is coming. So we're getting very close to being able to do that. There's 3 things holding us up from that right now, and that's finishing up a couple of endings, or just tidying them up, and then the game board. But as soon as those things are in place, and maybe even before the game board, we'll see, because I mean we could still play the game without the finished game board. So yeah, so that should be coming before too much longer, and I really appreciate all your guys' patience waiting for the new gameplay video. It's something that I am very happy with. I will say with the gameplay video though, when we're able to get it out, it will be massive spoilers, like massive, because yeah, we'll basically be playing through one of the Wanderers. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so let me see. Let me catch up here real quick, guys. I backed on a menace. Thank you, Jack. I appreciate that. And I'd rather wait for it to be amazing. Thank you. I appreciate that too. Okay, Super Dud says, I'm still thinking about late pledging. Do you know already how long this will be possible? So Super Dud, you have, first of all, welcome. But next of all, you have a while left because like I just mentioned, it was delayed. So you probably have, I would say, at least a few months. So there's still time. There's still time. And you could probably, even if you needed to, get through Christmas, because I know that can be a really tough time for everyone. So, and then you could probably still do it in January or that sort of thing if you needed to. Lord Kanchan, I'm not sure if I replied to you or not, but hello, just in case. And thanks for being here from Germany. Can we do more add-ons if it won't deliver until next October? Open PM again. Okay, so I don't know if we can full on open the PM, Jack, but email me. I'll put it in the comments here. Okay, so email me at the email address I was put in the comments. It's just byron@diemensiongames.com. I can add whatever you want to your pledge for you. I know it'd be more convenient for everyone if we open the pledge manager again. I'm just not sure logistically how it would work. So, yeah. But, or if it's really possible for us. I know it's possible. I know Kingdom Death did it through BackerKit. But what they did was kind of like open a different pledge manager for each time. So I don't know. We'll have to see if it's possible to completely open it again. But if it's not, then I'm more than happy to add whatever you guys need to your pledges. Just give me an email and we'll see about that. Okay, so okay, I just missed. Okay. Just did a SBT radio. Oh, you did! That's awesome, Bill. Oh, man, that's fantastic. Still a fantastic audiobook, and the Kraken Centipede is still one of my favorite creatures you created. Thank you. Mine too. Yes, man, that's awesome. I'm glad that it's still getting played and that sort of thing. Man, the work that you guys did over at Sound Booth for that audiobook is just second to none. I don't know if I have another audiobook that I prefer to it. It's, well, I mean, I suppose I'm partial, but yeah. Thanks again for everything you and your brother did, Jeff did, and the whole crew over there. So, okay. Adam says, will more Twisted Fables come after Celestial? Funny you should ask that, Adam. Yes, we do have plans for more Twisted Fables stuff. Definitely. Some interesting things, and I have a few pictures that if I can figure out how to put them in this thing, I will show you guys today. I don't have much in the way of like physical stuff for Twisted Fables, but I do have a couple of pictures, so I'll show you guys those in a little bit here. Belgium. Oh, that's awesome, Paul. Thank you for being here, and thanks for liking Twisted Fables. That is awesome. But yes, there will, Adam, to finish off your question before I lose track again, more Twisted Fables is coming at some point. Definitely. Is this streaming only on Facebook? No, Fabricator, it is not. You can also find us on on YouTube. So if you go and search probably Diemension Games on Facebook, YouTube, you should be able to find us on YouTube. And hopefully if you're having troubles maybe on Facebook, maybe it'll work better on there. Jack will be a part of the game. Well, we might run into some copyright issues. I kind of figured since I purchased him, I could probably get him in here without Disney suing me. But I don't know that I want to try anything more than that. I haven't played Twisted Fables yet, said Tony. Well, you need to get on that, Tony. It is a fun game. I mean, once again, I'm partial. But I do enjoy Twisted Fables. Okay. Oh, I have seen pictures of the stage and the king. How big is it in real life? Very good question, Carl. I happen to have the stage and the king and the other guy whose name I can never quite remember. which is funny because he's the guy who I actually ended up getting into the game. But yes, I've got them all here, and I will show you. I will show you in just a little bit. A little jealous of the Jack Skellington. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween to you too, HP Gaming. Yes, I honestly, like I've seen this guy and I wanted to buy him for like 3 years. But that so it finally happened. Anyways. Yes, Anthony, you are correct. Always the problem with strongly story-driven games. It really is. And this will be a real demo of the real game. And I mean, okay, so on the plus side, you're only going to get some of it because there's only so much of the story that fits in one game. So, I mean, there's still going to be a lot of it that won't get spoiled. But one ending will get spoiled probably. And yeah. So, yes, that is unfortunate, but also kind of true. Okay. Sorry, guys. I just lost my place in the comments here. Okay, Fabricator, you're wondering where I'm reading these comments from. So I'm using a program called StreamYard, and they have this awesome aggregator that collects all of the comments from all of the platforms it's streaming to. So I'm seeing comments both from the Diemension Games Facebook page, the Deep Madness Facebook page, and the YouTube stream as well. So that's where all of them are coming from. Ken, it is good to see you. At Himley, let him get through the first hour, then we can mess with him. LOL. I don't know that's necessary, Russ. Have you seen how I'm doing so far? I'm messing up all over the place already. Thought Byron had muted me. No, I would never do that, Himley. Hi from Germany. Well, JC Spark, it's great to see you, my friend. Thanks for being here. And Alan in Denmark, thank you for being here. Man, we've got people all over the place today. This is fantastic. Radislav, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed that audiobook. And yeah, the SBT team did fantastic with that. How about the localized version of Dom? How much later will it go out? A year later or so? Karsten asks. That's a great question, Karsten. I think it's good to plan on that. I don't know that it's actually going to take that long, but I also don't want to promise anything because I don't want people to get disappointed if I'm wrong. Because once I'm done, we'll still have to have everything translated. And so it just depends on the translations. Like, honestly, the translations for Shattered Seas, wow. We had some issues. So those are getting out way later than I had wanted them to get out for people. So, but hopefully, hopefully everything will go smoothly on that, and we'll be able to get those out, in a reasonable time frame after the English version ships. So yeah, we'll have to see about that. But yeah, my hope is for you guys not to wait all that long time for it. But Sound Booth app keeps insta-crashing when loading library. That sucks. But yeah, I can't help out much on that. But maybe Bill can in the comments. He's William Stetson, I think. Anyways. Demistic. I absolutely love Twisted Fables from the moment I first tried it. Oh, man, that's awesome. Well, thank you. I'm so glad you enjoyed it, man. That's fantastic. Yeah, we're very happy with how that game has turned out by and large, and very happy with the response we've been getting from people. So that's fantastic. New character pictures for Twisted Fables, asks Adam. Well, okay, I have to preface this. I don't have that much stuff for Twisted Fables. but I do have a couple of things. So yeah, we'll get to those. We'll get to them, but just don't expect like an entire gallery, okay? I don't have an entire gallery, but I've got a couple at least, okay? So, JC Spark, when will Celestial launch? So Celestial will probably launch Q1 next year, would be my guess. We were going to try to launch it this year, but it just wasn't. It wasn't a good thing for starters because we needed to focus so much of our time on Dawn of Madness and really hone in on that stuff, and also just to get everything as polished as we possibly can before we launch it, which it's going to be pretty polished. You're going to have a very good idea of what you're getting into when we have Celestial ready to go. For instance, like we've already got all of the hips miniatures done for box 1 and maybe box 2. I'm not positive about that, but yeah, we've got a huge chunk of the minis already finished, like past tooling, past all that stuff. They're done. So yeah, we're going to have a lot of cool Celestial stuff coming up. And I've actually got a couple of Celestial things here today to show you guys too. So I finally got a copy of Deep Madness. Now we're talking about a third run, says Thomas. Yes. But you're still going to be waiting a while. So if you have a copy of Deep Madness, you're doing fine. Now, we're committed to doing that third run, but we want to be able to put some time and effort into it so that, you know, it's not just, well, what was the point of this? So, and because of that, we needed to get through some of our other stuff first. And so it kind of slid to the back burner. And so, yeah, it's a little backburnered, but it is coming. It is coming. So it's still coming. I know I've been promising that since Dawn of Madness launched. It's still coming. Does Twisted Fable support solo? Asks DVC Bear. Seth says, show the king. Okay, so not yet, DVC Bear, in answer to your question. It likely will, but it does not yet. As of right now, it's either a 2 or 4 player game. 2 players head on head, or 4 players in a group. I'm sure you could do 3 if you wanted to, or, you know, I know that Bill, who's in the chat here, has he and his brother Jeff have done games with like 8 or something. It's just insane what they've done. They've kind of like homebrewed it, but so no, not currently, but it is coming probably. Like I could say that with probably 70% certainty. Anyways, for the third Deep Madness release, could we get a complete floor plan for Kadath, says Mike. That's an interesting question, Mike. That is an interesting question. I don't know. I guess if enough people wanted it, who knows? Maybe so. That would require us actually making one. But I mean, we've got a pretty good idea after Shattered Seas and everything in the books or in the game. So, yeah, I too just picked up a copy of Deep Madness. Good for you, Glenn. That's awesome. Glad you could find one. Hello from Spain. Oh shoot, where do you go? It just jumped. No, come back. Come back. Hello from Spain. Oh no, I'm so lost now. Oh, there we go. Calor. There we go. Calor, thank you for being here. And if I mispronounced your name, I'm very sorry. Do we have a date for Deep Madness shipments? Okay, so we've been going over this a little bit, Diego. We announced on the Kickstarter a month or 2 back that it was going to be delayed by about a year. So at this point, we're looking probably at October next year as opposed to this October, which we're almost already through anyways. But yeah, so there has been a bit of a delay there. And I appreciate your guys' patience as we work through that. But thank you, Barbara. I appreciate that. Okay, so Panagiatis, let's see. So it's been a while since the campaign for Dom and so many other horror games ran on Chaos since then, but none comes close to the level of disturbing horror art and theme that... Oh, man, thank you. That's awesome. Hopefully the whole game can live up to that, and we could just scare the snot out of you. That's what we're shooting for in any case. Hello from Spain. Man, another one from Spain. Well, that's fantastic. Thanks for being here. I'm sorry if I mispronounced this. Erkson Floy. Waiting for Spanish novel from Deep Madness. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay, so first of all, I am so sorry to everyone who's been waiting for that. We had so a few weeks ago now, and I'll be putting out an update about this. I was hoping to do it before this, but here we are. I wasn't able to get it out. Not able to get everything done at once. So the files for the books were submitted several weeks back. So those are with the printers. We finally got all the translation stuff ironed out. We finally got all the junk that was happening taken care of there. So so the books are in the queue to be printed. I haven't heard time frame yet, but they are in there and being worked on. At the same time, I should, in that update, have the ebooks for you. So, and it'll be in several different formats, 2 different Kindle formats, EPUB and PDF. So I'll have all of those in that update, and it'll either be later today or Monday that those get out for you guys. So thank you so much for your patience, and thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. Any chance for a foreteller type audio to go with Dom? I don't want to promise anything. I don't want to promise. But we have a very good relationship with Sound Booth Theater, who happens to make some incredible audiobooks. So I'll just throw that out there. And I will also, okay, I'll go a little deeper. So I will also throw out that it is something we are very much discussed and very much want to do. So it's something that we are actively discussing. Nothing set in stone, no ink's been signed, nothing like that. But it is something we are actively looking at and thinking about and working on. So, but Jeff over at Sound Booth also kind of wanted to get a copy of the game to make sure that it was even doable. So, yeah, we'll see about that. Okay. Let's see some Dom. Okay, we're getting there, Kelpie. We're getting there. I'm going to work through a couple more comments because I'm way behind here. But yes, we will get there. I promise. Got the game. It's great, but I have one damaged card and was trying to get a replacement. I emailed and stuff, but never got a response. What's the contact for that? Okay, Michael. I think you're in the U.S. If you're in the U.S., I actually just posted an update about this. Send an email to Quartermaster Logistics. If you're in the US, if you're or Canada, either one. If you're not, then you're going to need to send an email to Twisted Fables at dimensiongames.com. And Cherry should get back to you on that. But like I said, I just posted this update like an hour or two ago. So but there's a link in there to a contact form for Quartermaster, and they might be able to just get it off for you super quick. So give that a try. I finally pinned in my copy of Neva, going to move into the other soon. Oh, Ken, post pictures. Dude, that sounds awesome. I can't wait to see that. I myself still have a lovely gray Neva, but she does have a cool base at least, right? So I mean, that's something. But anyways, I am so hyped for Dom. I have a question. All the Wanderers, except the actor and the anthropologist, seem to have 2 separate bosses. Do you know if that's something they'll be getting as well? Well, Jakini, a couple of updates ago, we featured the actor stuff. And I guess in short, yes. You know what? You guys have waited a long time. Okay, let's start showing stuff. Okay, so now, as far as the anthropologist, though, I should get into this first. I don't know about the anthropologist because the file for the actor was already made. It was something that members of the team didn't really like, and then some of us super liked. So we compromised and put in both. But as far as the anthropologist, I don't know. I haven't heard anything specific about that. I'm not too concerned about that, though. Like, the way his boss works is super cool. So, but I'm sure if the team feels it's necessary, then we'll throw something in. But we also don't want to, just force something in either. But that is a very good question. Okay, anyways, I promised. So let's go ahead and let's do some stuff. Okay, so here is the king and the stage. So we'll start with the king because he's not too big. Oh dear. Oh, can't see what I'm doing. Hopefully you can get details on that. Let's see if I can get better light here. Maybe, kind of. Not really. Man, so much shadow. That's better, but that kind of works. Sorry, guys. Okay. Well, anyways, but he's not really the interesting one anyways, because this is the interesting one. This is the stage. Tilt, light, tilt. Okay. This is the stage. This thing is huge, and it's awesome. I'll just twist it slowly here. So you've got so many details here, and I hope you guys can see some of them. Get rid of my face here because we don't need that. There's like all these people who are like shambling around on it and stuff. And it's got this big skull in the middle of it. It's pretty super awesome. And like I said, this is like a normal mini. He's maybe a little bigger than a normal mini, but the stage is it dwarfs him. It's just enormous. So yeah. So that's the stage and the king. And here's the other guy whose name I can never remember, and I'm so sorry for that. But here's the other guy. This was the other king option that we just decided to go with. He's no longer the king, but he's still important. Though I don't remember his name. But once again, super messed up. And let's see him on the stage. So, yeah, here's him on the stage. It's pretty big and pretty cool. Now, I will admit, I have one other thing here for you guys to look at. Now, this is just, you will never actually get this. So it's kind of a really nasty tease, but also kind of a cool behind the scenes thing. So, so as I mentioned, this was the original king. And the original king had a different stage. And I realized that after I printed it out and realized, wait, there are 2 stage files here. So here is the original king on the original stage. Which, once again, this is just kind of a behind the scenes thing, because this will probably never be available. But it's super cool. And this is, kind of the design process you can see going through here, that they're just decided they wanted it bigger, I guess. And probably they wanted it less chaotic, because there is a lot going on this thing. Just like there's a lot going on the what if I turn this light? Maybe. Does that help? No, that does nothing. Oh well. But yeah, I'm guessing they wanted to go less chaotic with this, because there's a lot going on this thing. But also, I don't know, maybe they didn't quite like the whole kind of scarecrow look of this. I don't know. I think it's really cool. And I'm glad at least this is going to be in the final game. So anyways, yes. And now I am way behind on comments probably. So let's get back to that here. Okay, so Todd, so yes, I don't know if I've mentioned this probably a couple times now, but just in case you missed it, there is going to be a new Deep Madness reprint and new content. It will probably be, I'm not sure when. Hopefully next year. Hopefully next year is going to happen. It's not going to happen the end of this year. Probably won't happen Q1 next year, because we're going to have Celestial first. But hopefully next year we'll be able to get a new Deep Madness out, because I know a ton of people have been waiting a very long time for it. We just want to make sure that we have enough, enough time to get it to where it's really good. So where it's not just another reprint with, nothing much to say about it. Yes, Karsten. So yes, your German copy is coming as well. So like I said, the all of the books, Spanish, German, and French, they're all at the printer, and they are coming. Hi, HD Gami. It's good to see you. Sorry for getting back to you so late here. My statue mini is missing its head, says Steve. Okay, so is that Deep Madness? If that's Deep Madness, Steve, then you're going to want to send an email to deepmadness@dimensiongames.com, which I just put down in the comments. So yeah. Is there a way to get prints of the art for Dom? I would repaper my walls with that art. They're way too demented and horrific. In other words, right up my alley. So, Bill, we actually have a couple of art prints for him. However, I think those might all be in storage. I intended to have some come back to my house so that I could send them out to people. But I don't know that ever happened. And then I was going to get more at Gen Con, and then COVID happened, and there was no Gen Con. And then Gen Con happened again, and we didn't go because we were working on Dawn of Madness and Deep Madness, or Celestial. So, so yes, in theory. Maybe send me an email about it or something. I don't know if I can get them for you right now, but they do exist. I don't know if that helps. That might make it worse. Was the Echoes in the Mist Dandy expansion popular? I don't expect an insert, but will one be included? So DVC Bear, that's a great question. I'm honestly not sure how popular it was, but it was only available for the the core pledge. So if people didn't go in for the core pledge, then they didn't get that. And a majority of people did not go in for the core pledge. So I would guess probably it's one of our lesser expansions. But having said that, will one be included? I can almost assure you that there will be an insert in there, because we wouldn't do that to you. I mean, I really don't know what the inside of the box is going to look like, so I can't completely guarantee what it's going to be in there, but I would strongly suspect there will be an insert in there. Oh, Karsten. Okay, so I'm guessing when you're saying the updated rule book, or the revised rule book, is that regarding? Oh, that might be regarding Dawn of Madness. That's probably Dawn of Madness. I'm going to guess that's Dawn. Okay. Yes, we will have that out as soon as we possibly can. It probably won't be until we're in a pretty finalized spot with it, because we're trying to make the best use of our resources, and so we're trying to not put more money into graphic design than we have to, because we have a lot of art for this game, so much art. And so every time we do the graphic, graphical layout and that sort of thing, that costs a lot. So we're trying to get it into a place where we're pretty happy with it, and we think it could be close to the final thing, or at least close to the final format. And then once we've done that, then we can have the graphic design happen and get that out to you guys. So yes, that is coming, definitely. Is there any plans for future characters for Twisted Fables, or any more stories on the lore and characters of the world? Yes. Hopefully to both of those, T-Mac. Sorry, just completely spaced. Okay, so I haven't talked with the team about this recently. So one problem with me being in the US is the rest of the team is not in the US. So I'm not always in the day-to-day stuff. So we're more talking about the stuff that directly pertains to me at that particular moment most of the time. But the last I talked with them about this, and once again, this was a little while ago, but they were looking at, I believe, 3 or 4 new characters for Twisted Fables. Oh, shoot, what were they? One of them was actually 2 characters, which is Beauty and the Beast. Oh, shoot, who were the others? I don't remember off the top of my head, but there are several planned, and they were very, very interesting concepts. I do remember that. Very, very interesting. So yes, there should be more characters in the future, and we would love to do more in the lore and the stories and the world and all that sort of stuff. So, you know what, guys? Since we're talking about Twisted Fables, I'll go ahead and I'll drop the next thing if I can figure out how to do it here. Okay. Nope, that's not it. So what I need to do is figure out how to show you. No, that's not it. I need to figure out how to show you a picture. It says share screen. That's not going to be overly helpful unless I pull this up, I guess. Okay, so I'm just experimenting with this, guys. So I apologize if this doesn't work how I want it to. Is easiest with 2 monitors. Okay. Okay. Let's see what happens. Uh-oh, did I freeze? Oh, I hope I didn't just freeze. Oh, dang it. Did I freeze? Did I just lock up my whole computer? Wait, I'm back. I think I'm back. Okay, let's try this. Okay. Okay. Can you guys see this? I will scroll down the comments to make sure you see this. You never froze. Yay! That's great. Okay. Oh man, there's all sorts of comments here. Okay, sorry guys. I just wanted to scroll down and make sure that that you guys were able to see us. Okay, so let's see if I can make it bigger. I can make it bigger. All right. So this is a couple of things. First of all, obviously this is Mulan, and let's see if I can. There we go. And this is potentially a couple different things. This is potentially playmat art. It's also potentially a new type of card. So we are looking at potentially doing a world type of card, so that it would be what's the word? So that when you're playing the game, the world would be whichever world you happen to have popped into would be impacting the game. So yes, that is another potential thing there. In addition to, like I mentioned, maybe the solo mode, and we're also thinking of maybe doing like a couple of what's the word? Expansions to current characters, or potentially cards that could be used for any character, that sort of thing. So is another Twisted Fables Kickstarter on the horizon? Yes, probably. Yes, almost assuredly. I once again don't know when. I wish I was better prepared for you guys. I could say, hey, it's going to be this month or whatever, and it's going to do whatever, but I can't. But potentially next year sometime we'll have another Twisted Fables Kickstarter. Yes, I bet. I'm glad to hear that, Bill. That's awesome. So nothing soon. Yeah, nothing real soon, probably, Wani. Thank you, T-Mac. I'm so glad to hear that. Okay. So guys, there's something else. There's something else I should show you too. Okay. Sorry for the plain background there. But another Twisted Fables related thing here. We're getting into statues. So this is Little Mermaid. Obviously, you recognize her, I'm sure, if you're into Twisted Fables. I want that. So is my yes. Roger just showed this to me about a week ago, and I am so stinking excited for this thing. Obviously, Little Mermaid is one of my favorite characters. I know she's a little more controversial than some, but yeah, it's yeah. I'm just very excited about these. And I mean, obviously, if there's one, there will probably be more. But this will be a very high quality piece, I would think. And it'll probably be, I would guess, in the next Kickstarter. I don't know for sure. But that will potentially be an option there. I think I've got another picture too of her. Yeah. So there's another one of her. This is more of a close-up, showing details on her and stuff. Let's see, which one of these did I show? I think it was the top. Okay. And then here's just another picture of the statue from a slightly different angle. So, and suddenly we're looking at something else. Okay. So yeah, those are a couple of cool things that are maybe coming along for Twisted Fables there. I love that statue, so I'm hoping they come out of 75 millimeter figures to paint up. Yes, so that's actually something we've talked about too, and I don't know if this is happening for sure or not, but this was something mentioned by several people, I believe, in our chat here. Himley mentioned it, and I believe Russell Groves also mentioned it, that they wanted larger minis. So, and once we kind of finalized everything, we kind of realized, why didn't we make these things bigger? So it's potentially coming up that we could have larger figures in the Kickstarter as well. And I mean, those would strictly be, they wouldn't necessarily add much gameplay or anything like that, but they'd be larger for people who wanted larger figures. So yeah. Okay, so I'm going to scroll up here a ways because I know I missed a bunch of comments, including King of Average showing up. Hey, King of Average, good to see you. Okay, sorry guys. I'm just trying to find where I left off here. Nice Jack in the background. Thank you, Dimitri. That would make an awesome escape room. You have no idea. Okay. Scrolling up. Oh no, that's as far as it goes. Okay, well, I guess that's as far as I'm going up. Okay. It won't let me go up any further, guys. So if I missed your comment, Phil, good to see ya. Man, awesome. Glad you made it, buddy. Anyways, how do you resist the temptation to paint all these models? I know you got loads of Ryan to complete, but still, they look so great. It's a great question, Russ. The answer is, I look at them and say, oh my gosh, I want to paint that so bad. And then I don't have time. That's how. I'm glad you guys liked the stage and the king. That's awesome. Sundrop the fork out of that. That's actually a great idea. I have time for Sundrop. I could probably do Sundrop. Scullage the stage floor is a nice detail. Man, I did go back a ways. Sorry, guys. Yes, I am fond of that as well. How important is it to have miniatures in Dawn? Are they used similar to Tainted Grail, Aetherfields, or more like Deep Madness miniatures game? I'm not going to say that miniatures are essential in any game, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I love minis. Don't get me wrong. I love minis, DVC Bear. But even Deep Madness technically could be played with standees. I mean... so I suppose it just depends on how much you need those sweet, sweet plastic minis. As far as gameplay type, it's probably closer to a Tainted Grail or an Aetherfields in that, well, I don't know. It's kind of a hybrid of them. Because on the one hand, you don't have like the big tiles like you do in like a Zombicide. Because you're exploring way more space. You're exploring like an entire world. So the board is made up mainly of cards. So in that way, it's probably closer to a Tainted Grail or an Aetherfields. The minis do add a lot of presence to it. So, I mean, I guess, one way or another, it's up to you. Personally, I really like minis and like Aetherfields and that sort of thing too. I'm one of the minis guys. I go for the minis if I can. So, but really it's up to you. It's whatever you feel is going to make the best gameplay experience for you. Are the minis scarier? Probably, but I mean, at the end of the day, are you really going to get scared by a standee or a piece of plastic? Probably not. But hopefully the stories will. I want a life-size version of the king of the stage. Yes, don't we all? Okay, so let's see, guys. I'm just going to skip through a couple. Both versions of the King and Little Mermaid. Sell as the STL, says Emily. I'll see what I can do. I want a life size of all of the miniatures. You don't have room for a life size of all the miniatures. I guarantee it, Bill. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to catch up. So sorry, I'm kind of silent here. I'm just skimming through some of the old comments here. We continue to bingo. Indeed, we do, Miguel. Welcome to a Byron live stream. Well, okay, Michael, this is a good question. Will there be an update to the Twisted Fables TTS mod to include the expansion characters and update the cards to the final release? That's a great question. Honestly, it's something we keep forgetting. So thank you for continuing to pester me about it, Michael, and feel free to continue to pester me about it because I do think it's something we'd like to do. It's just we get busy doing other things and we forget. So apologies, but hopefully we will be able to get that updated. So yeah, keep pestering me about that and let's see what we can make happen. For those recently tuning in, Byron is about 15 minutes behind or so on comments. That is true. That is an accurate statement of fact. Oh no, I'm 20 minutes behind. Oh my goodness, I'm 20 minutes behind. Oh, yikes. Okay, sorry guys. I'm skimming. Okay, will there be a reopening of the pledge manager to buy second wave expansions? Okay, Miguel, so scroll up in the comments if you're able to and find my email address. And you can, I don't know for sure yet if the pledge manager is going to open or not again, but feel free to email me if there's something that you want to add to your pledge. I'd be happy to add it for you. I can't answer for sure right now if the pledge manager will reopen or not, but I can do it on my end, no problem. So if there's something you want, just let me know and I'll get it for you. I did get sidetracked. That happens so often. Oh, okay. Okay, Carl, this is a fantastic question. This is a great question from Carl. So can you explain a little bit more how DOM gameplay works with now and not only focusing on the central wanderer? Are we skipping around multiple storybooks? No. You will be focusing entirely on one storybook. Now, the way that it doesn't focus... So, okay. Let me see if I can frame this properly. So it still focuses on one wanderer's story, and you're still going through their entire story until you get a finale or an ending. But the other characters are completely integral to making that happen. So for instance, there are different encounters where, like, say you're locked in a padded room, not saying that this is in an asylum or anything, but and you need another wanderer to come free you, or you're being completely overwhelmed by thousands of gross squiggly things and another wanderer needs to come save you. So there's a lot of teamwork going on inside the game. So it's not so much that you're working through other players' stories. In fact, it's more focused on the central wanderer story than it was the first time. But having said that, there's also two different types of stories. There's what we call reality shards, which are from the central wanderer's perspective. And then there's more investigation encounters. I don't think that's our official name for them, but whatever, doesn't matter. Where it's from the perspective of the other wanderers more so, and you're just exploring the world and all the creepy, nasty stuff that it contains. So, so in any given or in any given game, you're going to be working through some encounters through the central wanderer's perspective, and some through the other wanderer's perspective. And it's about 50-50, sometimes leaning towards 60-40, depending on the story, as to the reality shards and the more investigation type encounters. And then, so, like I said, the wanderers are really integral in gameplay wise, like working together to crush the different horrors that are attacking you across the board, and really working to succeed. So there are some, oh man, I don't want to spoil stuff. Oh, well, you guys won't remember this anyways. So there are certain endings where, for instance, the central wanderer is just so completely devastated by what has happened during the course of the game that he or she cannot physically do basically anything. And the other wanderers have to completely solve the game, essentially. Now, having said that, that doesn't mean that the central wanderer is then useless and the person playing that is not going to be doing anything. No, that's not what it means. But like a lot of the encounters can only, in those particular scenarios, it's like the other wanderers have to get in there and like bolster up the central wanderer to make sure that you all get through this live. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. I'm really looking forward to you guys seeing more gameplay stuff. But anyways, I'm also now so far behind in comments. Okay. Regarding future, okay, so Himley, so you asked a long stinking time ago regarding the future bases. Do you think you'll have some more thematic bases or just flat ones as DM? I don't know. I guess that would depend on what game you're talking about. So like all of them in Dawn of Madness are textured. Like, oh, shoot, yeah, you can't see it. I don't know. You can't really see it. But, oh, there we go. There's the texture. So all of the Dom bases are textured. The Celestial bases are textured, but in a different way. Well, some of the minis actually like swap bases too. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. As far as Twisted Fables, I don't know. I don't know for sure about that one. Now, I do know that in potentially in the Deep Madness future, they're talking about potentially redoing some of the minis. If that happens, then I would imagine they would probably get special bases. But that's all just conjecture, and I don't really know for sure. I heard expansions and Celestial, so came running. You bet, King of Average, you bet. Okay, Mio is cool, says, I want a Dorothy playmat. Don't we all? And who knows? We might actually get them. They're working on a Mulan one, so I'm going to guess that means others are in the works. Anyways. I'm not going to go into that comment, but you made me laugh, Russ. Uh, so Kiri, I'm so sorry. I'm going to butcher your name. Kyriakos, you mentioned a long time ago, like seriously, 20 minutes ago. Um, any new gameplay videos? Yes, we will have new gameplay videos as soon as we possibly can for Dawn of Madness. Squall, except for Celestial, Deep Madness Third, Twisted Fable Second, do you have any other board game project to come after in 2023 or 2024? That's not enough. I don't have anything I can really say at this point, Squall. Obviously, we've always got stuff we're looking at and working on, and we'll have to see how it all goes. But our next year at least is pretty booked, and potentially going into the year following. So I wouldn't expect anything real new or fancy coming anytime real soon. I could be wrong. But but well, Karsten, I'm guessing you're no longer here, but thanks for being here with us. And I'm sorry I missed your comment saying that you were leaving. Anyways, have a great night, and I hope Germany is it's a good night for you there. Okay. All right. So I'm back to where I thought I froze. Yes, all good. Where can we find a PDF for the rules of Twisted Fables? Maybe we didn't post the final rulebook in an update. I feel like we did, though. You might want to go back and look through the Twisted Fables updates, Kyriakos. And once again, I'm sorry if I'm butchering that. But we might have the Twisted Fables rulebook in one of those. But having said that, once I get the website up and running again, I will hopefully have a spot on there for rule books and that sort of stuff too. But what kind of game will Celestial be? So, Rat with a Tool, that's a good question. Celestial is it's a worker placement game. No, I'm kidding. It's not worker placement. It's a total lie. No, it's a one. So it has several different modes, but it's largely kind of a skirmish type game. So having said that, it's kind of a story-driven skirmish game, and it has several different modes. There's a player versus player mode, which can be 1v1 or 1v2. There's a two-player cooperative mode where you're just doing different missions and stuff, and there's a one or two player, well, and the cooperative mode can actually be solo as well, but there's a one or two player story mode where you're actually working through the course of the game. The story mode is going to be where the biggest the most impact is going to come, because that's where the story is going to be and that sort of stuff. But there's also going to be a lot of other gameplay modes as well. But it's going to be very much things killing each other. Yeah. So, and that will be both, like I said, that can be solo, it can be player versus player, which is probably where a lot of replay is going to come from, honestly. There's probably going to be a lot of PvP. That's a lot of the replay. But then there's also the story mode, which can be solo or two-player. And the story mode, I believe, can also be PvP, playing as the bad guy team. I'm not positive about that, though, so don't quote me on it. Anyways, hopefully that helped a tiny bit. Okay, so working through statue comments. Okay, so Carl, so this is a good question. This is another question. I will get back to your question, Carl. Russ asked if it's still planned to add in the Shattered Seas world as an expansion in the future DMKS. I sure hope so, because I want me a Kraken Centipede. I want a Kraken Centipede bad. And when they initially brought it up, I said, I have one condition. I need a Kraken Centipede. So so yes, here's hoping that I believe that is still in the cards. We just haven't had the time to fix it and get it to the place where it needs to be. So that's why it hasn't shown up yet. Okay, so do you play monsters from only the Central Wanderer or all Wanderers? I think this was in a KS update, but I don't recall. You can do whichever you prefer, Carl. So you can play with only the Wanderers terrors, as well as then there's several different kinds of terrors. So there's the terrors that are Wanderer specific and the terrors that are just there for any particular game. The terrors that are specific to a particular Wanderer, they can be played in any game. There's nothing holding you back from doing that. But you also don't have to. There is a little bit of when a terror is being spawned. Sometimes it's specific, sometimes it's not. So you're going to have those terrors related specifically to the Central Wanderer in the game, for whichever game you're playing. But you can throw in any other ones you want to as well. So hopefully that helps answer that question a little bit. And there goes Russ bragging about not knowing, or everyone else not knowing about the Shattered Seas references. Hoping to see what's behind the other two main doors of the main building. That is a good thought there, Russ. I would like to see that as well. The problem with listening to the audiobook and not reading, you don't focus as much. And yes, I will be reading the book once I've read the current stack. I hear you, Himley. Hey, wow, did I catch up? I think I did. Okay, yeah. One of the doors leads to Byron's house. Simple. Well, good night, Alex. Thanks so much for being here, man. I really appreciate it. Oh, the Celestial stuff. Yes, don't go yet. Okay, yes. I have a bunch of Celestial stuff I haven't shown you guys yet. So thank you for reminding me. Okay. No, let's not start with this guy. We'll start with a different guy. Let's see. Who to start with? We'll start tiny. I didn't get as many of these printed as I wanted to, guys, and I apologize for that. Maybe for the next one I can. So this is one of Gagong's guys. This is one of the Sarah Brood. These are like cute little tiny, I love these guys. They're cute little tiny insects that are also like mechanical. And they're awesome. Some of them look like bumblebees and they explode. And then some of the, so there's several of those, and they are created by the Sarah plant, which is this giant thing. So this is kind of terrain and kind of a unit. So for Gagong's people, this is it's kind of both. It's kind of both. It doesn't move a whole lot until you really upgrade it a lot. And then once you have a bunch of upgrades into it, then it can like skitter across. It can use all those legs to skitter across the battlefield and, and stuff like that. Kind of a bionic bug plant nightmare thing. Yeah, so that's the Sarah plant. Well, good night, Kyriakos. I'm sorry if I keep mispronouncing your name, but thanks so much for being here. Really appreciate it. Oh, I did say the name correctly. Yay! Great. Okay. Lay it down thick. Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, so let's do a couple more here. So this is another smaller celestial mini. This is a tiny guy, or well, girl. Um, she's a very basic one. This is just like a standard fighter for Flesh of Neva. That's the team she's from. And this is the Queen of the Voids, one of her team members. This is, I believe it's Dengbi. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. And so Celestial is really cool in that most of these are, almost all of them are a figure from Chinese mythology of some kind or another. So like she's important in Chinese mythology. And so, man, I wish I could get some of these details on here for you guys to see. I don't know if I can. There's like a lot of details around like her legs, and her head is stinking awesome. Dang it, it's not focusing. Focus. Oh well. She's got like a candle on her head and stuff. And on her finger there, that's a star. She manipulates stars. So she's very cool. So that's Dengbi. Okay, I'm just looking through comments real fast here. What's the scale on Celestial? I have no clue. Huge. Himley, I just saw your question there. So yeah, the scale is huge. So I can show some of the resin guys too if people want. Like if people haven't seen some of the resins, let me know in the comments. If you have all seen the resins though, I won't bother showing them. But like Queen of the Void, I briefly showed Neva there, and then I've got a bunch of them behind me, like Gagong, Zahydral, lots of them there. Okay, but when is Celestial coming to me? So Mio, probably in probably Q1 next year. That's what we're looking for right now. Seth, it's great to see you, my friend, and thanks for being here. And yes, I hope to see you at Gen Con next year as well. Absolutely. I can't wait. I really missed being there this year, but oh well. Priorities. But yes, thanks so much for being here, Seth. Have a great night. Oh, I probably should have asked for a DM or Celestial side by side. Sure, why not? Let's see here. What do I have? Dagon's kind of a good middle of the road, right? So, okay. So here is Dagon versus Dengbi. And I'm sorry about the lighting in here, guys. Good night, Kelpie. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate you stopping by and hanging out with us for so long. Okay, so here is Sarah Plant versus Gagong, versus whoever this guy is, Dagon. And versus the little beetle guy. Basically, he's roughly the same size as the beetle. You know, I'll go ahead and I'll show you guys the final one. Show them all. Go for resin. Okay. All right, guys. Before I do that, I know people are having to drop off. So I want to show you guys before too many more people leave. This is one of the final bosses in Celestial. He's in box 2, I believe. And this guy is not the bad guy. So take that as you will. This is Galmong. Let me see if I can get them all in the frame at once. That is Galmong right there. And he is actually a really heroic guy, and has the darkness trapped inside of him, and he's trying to keep it from getting out into the world. And the team that you're playing as is trying to get it loose, because of course. So yes, man, I wish I could get this better for you guys. I'm sorry. I'll work better. I thought the lighting was going to be great, but it's not so good for the minis, I guess. But there is so much stinking detail on this guy. Like, I wish you could see it. Like in his abdomen area there, and the back of his neck is just got like crazy detail. It's just it's insane. Okay, so for scale, let's do scale again, right? Here's Dagon, and here's Galmong. And once again, a very important character from Chinese. Oh, hey, I almost got good detail there. Look at that, good detail. I just told him just like this. Okay, anyways. So yeah, that's Galmong. It's a display size game. Oh yeah, so here's my Tumblr, and here's Galmong. Yeah. And Galmong is not the biggest mini in the game. Yeah. Yes, you absolutely do, Russ, because this lighting is terrible. You're absolutely right. Anyways. So I think someone, okay, so Bill, you asked, will these be multi-part or pre-constructed? This is our first game where we are doing hips. So these will be multi-part. Now I know that freaks some people out, but it's not as hard as a lot of people think it is. It's actually a lot of fun once you get into it, kind of like mini painting, which I'm better at assembling than I am at painting. So yes, it's so for those asking, is it on sprues? It is actually on sprues. These will be hips. So these will be similar to like if you bought a Warhammer mini, or if you bought a Kingdom Death mini, something along those lines. In fact, we've got a lot of the hips already done. So I mentioned this earlier in the stream, but I know we've had people coming and going. So a ton of the hips minis are already done, and the team has just been freaking out over them. And yeah, so I don't know. We'll see if we go back from hips, because the level of detail we've gotten in them is just insane, and we're just so happy with them. So I don't know if we'll go back to PVC or not, honestly. But unfortunately for now, a lot of the stuff we're kind of stuck with it, but maybe not in the future. So we'll see. Oh, hell yes. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Okay. Sorry, guys. It just jumped on me. So how many minis do you expect to bring in Celestial? That's a good question, and I wish I had the answer for you. There won't be as many as, like, say, Deep Madness or Dawn of Madness, because they're big. And you can only fit so many on a table. But probably Oh man, I don't even want to guess, honestly, because I'm not sure. Fewer than Deep and Dawn, I will say that, because you have to fit them somewhere. But yeah, uh, plenty of boxes then. uh, uh, I heard there will be another Deep Madness Kickstarter. Was this answered? Will there be more Deep Madness content or DM2 in the future? Gerard or Jared, I'm not sure which you go by, but the answer to all is yes. Definitely, there will be more Deep Madness. Absolutely. I feel bad, honestly, that we haven't been able to get it out before for you guys, because I know a lot of people have been looking for it and wanting it, and it annoys me that we haven't been able to get it out yet, but we've just had to prioritize. So yes, there's absolutely more Deep Madness coming, new content, new Kickstarter, and probably a DM2 in the future. I mean, that's probably a ways out, but chances are good there will be a DM2 at some point in the future. So, yeah. I see that Himley enjoyed the enjoyed some of the minis there. Yeah, Russ, you're absolutely right. It will definitely make people angry during the campaign, and some people probably won't back the game because they're hips, but oh well. I mean, we can't please everyone as much as we'd love to, and we really would love to. Yeah. I'd love, honestly, at this point, we would love to have all the Dawn of Madness stuff in hips, but yeah, there's only so much we could do. Anyways, let's see here. I've been building and painting minis for the past 30 years, so I'm totally in. You have some experience there, Bill. I guess that means Warhammer style storage. Well, I mean, him. You saw him. He's he's huge. So yes, probably so. DM minis in celestial scale. Oh my goodness. Yes, I would love to have DM minis in celestial scale. And I mean, it's something we've thought about. So who knows? Anything's possible. We've talked about it for literally years. In fact, the Omega Ravenous. I was just looking for him around here. I don't know. I don't see him. But he was originally going to be a collector's piece, and then we decided we wanted to add gameplay for him, and he became a normal mini. So yeah, it's certainly something we've thought about. I will need a bigger cat. Well, that's for scale, Russ. He would need a bigger cat for scale. Dusk of Madness for the third chapter. That's a great name, Squall. Though that would imply that would be the last one, and I don't know if that's the case. Need more novels. Hint, hint. I would love to do more novels, Russ. Once I'm done with Dom, I'm all over it. Absolutely. There's some other things we'd like to do. Like we'd also like to do like graphic novels. And I have always wanted to do a graphic novel. So when they brought that up, I was extremely excited about that. It's taken a bit of a backseat, as has everything, because of Dawn of Madness. but yes, it's yeah. I just saw your comment here, Russ, about the going back to PVC over hips. I don't know. We've just the stuff we've been getting out of hips is so incredible. I don't know that we yeah. Anyways, but yes, I would at some point that graphic novel is going to happen because before I die, I want to write a graphic novel. And then novels as well. Absolutely. Oh, there was a good question here. Carl, so you have skirmish, dungeon crawl, story driven. Any future plans on a big boss battler KDM style? Okay, so I refer you once again to Gaomeng. I don't know. I mean, yes, I realize that the whole game isn't big boss battler, but those are some pretty big bosses. uh, anyways, I don't. Well, thank you, Period. Thank you for making an exception. I appreciate that. Yes, I remember hearing that. I actually didn't. Himley, referring to your Oathsworn comment, it's click switch. Really? I've never heard of that before. Huh. Yeah, that's interesting. That's a very interesting idea. I don't know. Like I said, unfortunately, fortunately, a lot of our minis are already done. So we couldn't do it for at least round 1 of Celestial. But yeah, that would definitely be something to look into. Yeah, I didn't. I ran out of money around the time Oathsworn came out, so I didn't back it. But it did look cool. The multiverse of madness. Down with the madness. Once I'm done with Dawn, he says and smiles. Yep, pretty much. So Phil, that's a great question. So you're wondering if the Twisted Fables page is meant to be public as opposed to the DM page, which is private. And the answer is yeah. So one thing with the DM page is that wasn't started by us. That was started by fans. Had we started it, would we have made it public? Probably. Because the advantage to public is, while yes, it's maybe more sheltered for the community, but it's easier for people, like from a publicity standpoint, to see stuff in a group if it's public. So for stuff that we're wanting to really expand and do amazing things with, there are a lot of advantages to doing public as opposed to private. Now, having said that, if I think if a lot of people felt uncomfortable with it, then we could certainly look into it. Or I could talk about it with the team. But it was intentional for it to be public, because we really do want Twisted Fables to grow and become bigger and to spread word of mouth about it. And we were thinking that the group in public might be a good way to do that. So hopefully that helps answer your question there, and explains that a little bit. But let me know what qualms you have about it being public and that sort of thing too, if you do. So anyways, Jared says, do you consider yourself more of a novelist or a game creator? I'm more of a novelist. I was a writer long before I was into board games. I started writing books when I was 10. And I mean, I always wanted to make games, but I also I like programming and that sort of stuff. It just didn't click with me. So, and at that time, I kind of thought that was the main way to do it, honestly. The whole board game industry hadn't really exploded at that point. So yeah, I would say I consider myself more of a novelist, but I also love games. So yeah. Hopefully that answers the question. We're missing an RPG too. Yeah, man, what is going on with that? We really do need that RPG to happen. I'll dig up some videos for you and send them to your email. Thanks, I appreciate that. Oh shoot, it just jumped. I hate it when that does that. Yeah, I would say that. I have become much more of a game creator and much more of a like writing that's more game related, obviously. But yeah, I would say I at least started off as a novelist, and a short story writer and just a writer in general. But wherever I could tell a good story, I want to do that. And hopefully I'm doing that in Dawn of Madness. So, and making it a very interactive and fun and terrifying experience for all the players. Yeah, Anthony, I hear you mentioning that you like hips, but a lot of people like PVC. And honestly, that's one of the main reasons. Well, that and it's hard to get into hips. There aren't many people who do it, and there aren't a lot of people who do it well. So, but that combined with a lot of people just like the PVC minis, they can just slap down on the table and they're ready to go. So for that reason, that is definitely another hindrance. But for Celestial, yeah, it's hips. There's just no way around it at this point, and we wouldn't change it. But yeah. Okay, so Phil, you're asking, I missed it at the start, but how far are the Dom storybooks progressing? Okay, so that's a great question. That's a very good question. So, Emily is essentially done. Catherine, we have a huge chunk done for Catherine. And then we have a very good chunk, or we're making a lot of good progress with Claude. And then we haven't done much yet with Linus, honestly. So there's still a lot of work to do with Linus. But I have a ton of ideas for Linus. So, but yeah, hopefully that helps there a little bit. Kind of the spectrum there. Emily's basically done. There's a couple little tweaks, but and then Catherine, a lot done for Catherine, and then a good chunk done for Claude, and we're actually working on Claude right now, and then we still need to get to Linus, which I'm really looking forward to. I really want to get to Linus, but so hopefully that helps answer your question there a little bit. Will it be able to finish the first mission of Deep Madness now? Adrian, that's a great question. I mean, are you talking about in the reprint campaign, or are you talking about right now? Because right now it's all up to you, buddy. If we redo the rules and that sort of stuff, certainly that's a potential option. Yeah, the social justice. Russ, you make a good point with this, but I don't know. Social justice warriors are pretty much all over the place with everything, so you're always going to offend them. I don't know. Not to offend any social justice warriors on the stream. I apologize if I did. Okay, so let's see here. Did I play the Ian Livingstone adventure books? I did not, but that sounds very interesting, Dezo. And I apologize if I mispronounced your name there, but yeah, you bet, Jared. But yeah, I love books like that. I love them. In fact, my family and I played the little. I don't have any of them here, but there's little tiny boxes. What are they called? They're from. Oh shoot, what's the company? It starts with a K. Comos. Something along those lines. They're just called like Story Game or something, but they're like $20 games, and they're really awesome. And you just like walk through the games. They also have the games versions of the Choose Your Own Adventure books, and those are fun too. I like those a lot. Yeah, I'm a big fan of any books that are also games or stories that are or games that are also stories. Conversely, anyways. And Himley, you're absolutely right. Better quality with hips, easier to use with PVC. Only a writer would have a poor young one to lose his head the way he did in the skyscraper. Only a horror writer would have that happen in the skyscraper, I think, is what you're trying to say, Bill. Good night, Miguel. Thanks for being with us, my friend. Have a great night. And thank you, Radislav. Thanks for being here. Thanks so much, guys. It's been a blast having you here. The new thermoplastic resin. Oh, I've never even heard of that. That's interesting. Huh. Yeah, that's worth looking into, Squall. Thanks. I hadn't even heard of that stuff. Which probably means it's expensive. But yeah, that sounds very interesting. Okay. What would happen if Pris approached the sphere? Is she immune to madness and has an uncanny mimic ability? You know, that's a great question, Phil. And I don't know that anything would happen. Like with David, I kind of think something would happen. But with Pris, I'm not as sure. Like, would she suddenly become a fully conscious living being? Or would she... I almost wonder if it would help her rather than hindering her. Like, would she suddenly be completely a functioning living creature? Or I don't know. I think that is a very good question. And I guess I wouldn't know it until I wrote it. But yeah, that's a very interesting question. Very interesting question. Huh. What's the next Kickstarter campaign? Well, Lee, it's probably going to be Celestial. And if you miss some of those minis and that sort of stuff, be sure to watch the rest of the stream once we're done with this here, because I showed a number of them a few minutes ago. Oh, but you guys wanted to see the resins too, didn't you? Yes. So we will get... we will get to that. Conservatives are far from losing out on the offense Olympics. Good point, Perion. Good point. Has there been thought to fine-tuning some of the rules to actually make the game achievable? Yes. I'm guessing we're talking about Deep Madness. Yes, there is. And in fact, there are already a lot of mods available. You're going to want to find the Profundum PDF. Sean, because there are a ton of mods in that already that can help to really make the game easier. So yeah, definitely check that out. But yes, that's something that we are actively looking at doing. And like in a second edition Deep Madness, I'm sure that's something that would change, or it would be at least on a scale or something. Oh yeah, Russ, just seeing your comment here about the metal. I loved metal back in the day, but I'll be honest, I haven't had a metal mini in a very long time. And I also am amazed at how great 3D printers have come. Yeah, especially some of the new ones. They're just insane. Like the new Anycubic one that just released on Kickstarter recently. Crazy stuff. Anyways. Any word yet on a writer, Byron, in a Fedora model for the next DM campaign? Russ, that would be a question for for that campaign, probably. It's not something that's just going to be planned offhand, but I think if we got a lot of people to say they wanted it, it could probably happen. It almost happened in the last one. It was this close, but then our factory said, no, you shouldn't put in any more minis. So we stopped. Have I ever won the first mission in DM? I am proud to say yes. Yes, I have. I will also preface that by saying I watched a lot of people die at Gen Con. A lot of people die. So I had a fairly good idea how to do it. Anyways, that 8K Frozen looks amazing. Yes, it does. It totally does. My only problem with it is the holes in the build plate. Like that's... Sorry, I realize this is completely off topic, guys. We're now just talking about resin 3D printers. Squirrel! It's happened. But yeah, the holes in the build plate make me a little leery, because I've heard a lot of people have trouble with those. But yeah, apart from that, the thing just looks phenomenal. Still have the unopened Marauder, Citadel, etc. metal blisters in my pile of shame. Oh man. Yeah, but in reality, we all have massive piles of shame, right? I myself have so many piles of shame, and it much to my wife's chagrin. But anyways, I hope that you meet a lot of people die in game and not in person. True story, Bill, right there. I mean, it was Gen Con. Gen Con gets pretty ruthless. For third DM, consider making the Madness tokens PVC Pack 2. The print, yes, that would be very good. I agree completely. I think the question is, okay, so maybe not Madness tokens, because we did Madness in the second one, but the rest of the other tokens, definitely, that would be awesome. I'm in denial with my pile of shame. Yes. That's a good way to look at it, Phil. Piles of opportunity. Yes, Himley, absolutely. Of course you had to buy a resin printer. Of course you did. You needed more minis. Now, at least I have the excuse where I can print them out to show to you guys. But and I use that excuse. I use it a lot. So thanks, guys. Thanks for enabling my resin printing addiction. Yep. Okay. Oh yes. Resin minis. Speaking of resin minis, let's. Oh, you bet, Jordale. Thanks so much for being here. It's really well, Russ. Good to see you. But yeah, thanks so much for being here, Jordale. That was awesome to hang out with you for a little bit there. Thanks for being here. And thank you. I appreciate that. I wish you the best for the future too. What machine do I use for resin printing? Okay. Oh, that's a great question. That's a great question, Phil. I'll get back to that in just a sec. I use currently the machine I'm using the most is the Elegoo Saturn, and the resin I'm using the most is Soraya Tech Fast, which is the best resin I have ever found. So I strongly recommend it. And the Saturn is also a very good printer, and it's bigger, so you've got a little more room on it and stuff like that. Now, do I want one of those really, really high? I mean, Saturn is still 4K, but do I want one of the really high density ones? Yes. Yes, I do. Or one of those new DLPs that are starting to come out? Why, yes, I want that as well. But yes, that's what I use. And then I also have an FDM, but that's for very different stuff. And I technically have an original Mars, but I don't really use that one anymore. Always blame Chad. Yes, that's right. Okay, but Phil, you had a really good question here. Okay, so any chance of a TF fact with all the clarifications that Roger put on BGG? Honestly, I don't know if we thought about that, but that is a fantastic idea. In fact, I'm going to make a note of that. Yeah, because that's a very good thought. I think that could be a big help for people. So yes, thank you for bringing that up. If we got miniatures, board games, my pile of shame is more of a 5x10 rental storage. Oh, that's awesome. Wish resin printing was less messy and less hazardous. Don't we all? Yeah. I'm hoping that Dom has some Byron moments where all wanderers get distracted, leads them into a normal looking living room only to get eaten by a mimic. I mean, you're not wrong, Carl. That stuff kind of does happen. Like, a lot. But I don't think that's a spoiler to say that either. I really don't. I remember when Byron used to only have a Mars. It's true. It's true. Back in the day, I have a lot of minis printed out from that Mars, but the quality of the new stuff is so much better that it's almost it's crazy. Oh yeah, the washing and cure machines. Those are awesome. Can I get an empty monster box? Unfortunately, Faisal, no. Now, I keep saying this, and I'm sorry. I've been telling people this for literally years, and I feel so bad that I've been telling people this for years. But you'll be able to get one again in the third print. It's just a matter of when's that going to happen. So, Byron really should add some debuff cards. Oh, we've got so many debuff cards. What are you talking about? There's so many condition cards. I'm assuming we're talking about Dawn of Madness. If we're not, oops. Yes, there are condition cards, and condition cards can stick with you too. Condition cards suck. they sometimes carry over from game to game. Okay. There was a real question here from Russ. Okay. Oh, Russ, we've gone over this several times. Okay, but just real quick, Emily, pretty much done. Catherine, huge chunk of her done. Claude, making good progress. Linus, need to make some work on Linus. So hopefully that helps as far as the story progress for Dawn of Madness. Let's see. Wonder what Byron's abilities starting item would be if he was made into a DM character. I think I would leave that up to you guys to decide. Which probably means my starting ability would be Squirrel. Yeah. Chrome minis to blind your players. Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. Are Monsters AI finished? Yes, Carl, largely the Monsters AI are finished. There might be a few that aren't, and I mean, they're constantly being tweaked because playtesting is ongoing through this whole process, right? So, and Russ, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make light of your your comment too. I hope you didn't take it as that. But if you want me to go into more detail, I will. Just let me know. And this is Russ Helms. But anyways, okay, where were we? I was just going over something. Okay, Monster AI. So we've got a lot of the Monster AI already finished, or at least in a good roundabout way of finished. So there's still obviously tweaks being made. There's still some stuff that's being refined, but at least for the most part, a lot of it is roughed out, right? So yeah. And a lot of like the in-between round stuff that's all coming together really nicely. Like when certain bad things happen during between rounds and stuff, the endings are really coming together. We've got some endings I am very, very excited about, and how different they all are. It's going to be very cool, I think, for people. Because even a mini might not do the same thing in every ending, even and the way. Yeah. So, anyways, any sneaky? Oh, that's a good question. I fortunately, Phil, I don't have any. I don't have any to show people. I'm sorry about that. But just wondering about the crossover cards. Yeah, I don't know that those have been done yet. That might be something that's still being worked on. But yeah, that That's a good question, and I'm sorry I don't have those to show off. Um, I'll have a magic 8-ball that I throw like a Pokeball. Yes. Yes, I do. And then I get to ride, as long as I get to ride on the Kraken Centipede. I guess that's the most important. No, I wouldn't want to, because people are get absorbed by it. That's a bad idea. No, I should not ride on the Kraken Centipede. I'll just sick it on my foes. Yes. It's a good thought. I don't know what PK Pro is. I probably missed a comment. Oh, it's an acrylic. Is that an acrylic paint? Is that what we're talking about? We're covering a lot of ground today, guys. I should host D&D as a DM. You're actually not the first person to say that, Carl. I'm not sure if that was a joke or not, but yes, Mark, there will be a I'm so sorry. There will be a reprint of Monstrum at some point. When is the question? So it will be included in the or at least a revised version of it. I don't know yet if it'll be a revised or the original in the reprint campaign, but that's it's just a question of when will that reprint campaign be. So it will happen, just not sure when. Okay. Oh, okay. So resin minis. I keep getting distracted. Let's throw some resin minis out for Celestial real fast, and then I think we'll call it a day. So first of all, we have Queen of the Void, and she is the main person. Oh, dang it. I can't synchronize. She's the main bad guy, basically, but she's not really bad. That's the thing is, all of these characters aren't necessarily bad in the traditional sense. They're just, they all have their own interests and ends and that sort of thing, and often they conflict with each other. But she is the leader of the Void of Kunlun. So she's one of our most popular models, probably. I already showed Neva briefly, but I'll throw her up here again because I've got her right here. I'm really sorry about this lighting, guys. I thought it was going to be okay, but I didn't test it enough beforehand. Okay, and then let's grab some more. So then, oh, excuse me, Jack. Excuse me. Him, and her, and her. All right. So then we've got Uzion. And this is not in the first box. I think this might be... This is later in the story that she comes in. But I'm not doing a very good job showing her off, am I? Okay, so that's Uzion. And then... this is Twilight. And for those just tuning in, these are some resin minis from Celestial, our next game. And then we've got Gagong. He's the main hero, at least to start off with. Not saying he'll stay the hero. And then we've got Zahydral. And this guy is ends up being Gagong's right-hand man or snake thing, monster. After they've hated on each other for a while. And then, oh man, I don't remember the name of this one. That's terrible. I think it starts with an H. Here's Weird Spider Lady. So that's a few of the Celestial minis. Yeah, I feel like I did try that before, but maybe I didn't, Timley. Yeah, that's a good thought. Maybe that would help. Let's try it. See what happens. Let's try it. Of course, now I can't see a thing I'm doing, but you guys let me know if that helps. Okay. Does that help at all? Let me know in the comments. Okay. I like Weird Spider Lady. I do as well. And I wish I could remember her name. I feel really bad I can't. I do worry Twilight will snap if super careful. Yes, especially in the resin. Now, in the hips, it's not as big of a deal, but because hips is pretty strong. But yes, I will admit, I've had, in fact, you'll notice I'm not showing a Twilight. That's why. She's currently in pieces, and I have to repair her. Maybe the Kraken Centipede just has Byron's head. That is a very intriguing idea, but I wouldn't want to destroy the Kraken Centipede by throwing my head on it. That would be sad. Maybe as one of the faces on its side or something. That could be. Okay. Yes, Russ, you mentioning the riding a Kraken Centipede like a cowboy, one-handed, and fedora in the other. It was exactly the picture I was going for. Thank you. Okay. We'll break those claws. Oh, for which one? Well, once again, we're talking hips. We're not talking resin. So all of these minis that I showed you are going to be in hips. So you don't have to play with the resin ones. So don't worry about that. Hold up. Ending stream after only 2 hours? Well, we haven't ended yet, have we? We're still going. I was just starting to wind things down and, start the process. Well, I'm glad you like the minis, Jared. That's awesome. Yeah, Celestial is it's going to be quite a deal. It's going to be, I think, epic is a very good word to describe it. So yeah, I'm certainly looking forward to it. Rough date of the KS launch. So for Celestial, I'm guessing we're talking Celestial. If a different game, let me know. But Celestial is our next game, and that's probably going to be Q1 next year. We wanted to get a little more of Dawn of Madness out of the way, a little more finalized on some of the Celestial stuff. And honestly, I just hate running campaigns in fall/winter. So before Christmas, I've not good. So I strongly pushed it towards next year. So hopefully that helps a little bit there. So Q1 next year for Celestial, then the other stuff will follow after that. So at some point, probably a Deep Madness reprint, and probably a Twisted Fables reprint at some point during that time frame, potentially. I guess it just kind of depends how many we get into 1 year, because we also don't want to get to the point where we're biting off more than we can chew. And that's something that's very important to us. We don't want to get to where we've got like 10 games in our queue, and maybe you'll see them eventually, because that's not fair to you guys. So hopefully that answered your question. Let's see. Okay, just going through comments here, guys. Are we still getting high detail on the hips versions compared to the resin? Oh, Russ, dude, it's crazy. Like, it's hard for Roger to go back to look at our PVC minis now, because he's very much a perfectionist and he knows what's possible with the hips. And so he goes back to our PVCs and he's just like, I guess it's good enough. But yeah, the quality of the hip stuff is just fantastic. There might be a slight dip in detail quality from resin, but it's not much. It's not much. Okay. Do they have more than one form in Celestial, or is it specific to the resin kits? I ask because, for example, Twilight seems different from previously shown in Genesis. Twilight has not changed, actually. So it could just be different pictures or that sort of thing. At least I don't think Twilight's changed. Some of them might end up having second forms. Like initially, Gagong was going to have 2 forms. I don't know if that's still the case, though. I kind of feel like it's just Gagong now, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong about that. So it's possible that some characters will have 2 forms, but not necessarily a lot of characters. If there are 2 forms, it will be strictly based on what the story needs, as opposed to just throwing them in there to have 2 forms and sell more minis or that sort of thing. So hopefully that answered that question a little bit. Epic withdrawal on the credit card. That's what you meant. I mean, no, I think people will be able to get into Celestial for maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to make promises I can't keep. But now, yes, you will be able to go to the heavens if you so choose with stuff. But yeah, Christmas campaigns are so much fun, man. You nailed it, Phil. They are so much fun. Especially for the people running them. Okay. Well, thanks for being here, Panagiotis. Just saw your comment here. Have a great night and a good night's sleep. And thanks for hanging out and being with us. So That's awesome. Thanks for being a part. Okay. Okay, guys. Sorry, it jumped way down, so I'm scrolling back up to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. Can we expect EU-friendly VAT situation for Celestial 2 as with TF? I think we're going to try to do that with all of our games, Himley, as much as we possibly can. Like, we don't want you guys to get railroaded just because you happen to live in the EU. Honestly, the whole VAT and all the different tariffs and the different taxes, and it just drives me nuts. But I mean, I understand governments can do whatever the heck they're going to do, but I think we'll do everything in our power to make sure that's possible. I mean, and with the shipping situation the way it is in the world right now, who knows? I mean, it's been so weird. But hopefully it'll get better. So I mean, there's always that uncertainty, but we're going to do everything in our power, I'm sure, to make sure that there's no VAT for you guys. I wonder on the Celestial pricing for all of it with the size and hips. Well, for all of it, that might be up there, but you can get into it for not as much. Reprints with new content or only old content? New content. That would be one of the main reasons to do it. Bence. I'm sorry if I mispronounce that, if it's actually Bence, but I'm going to say Bence. The reprints will have new content in them. First of all, because Kickstarter requires new content. But next of all, because we've got some cool stuff that we're developing that we want to bring out to people. So if you missed some of it, be sure to look at some of the rest of the live stream, because I showed some stuff for Twisted Fables. Didn't show anything for Deep Madness, but there will be more stuff in the reprints, not just the old stuff. Now, depending on when the reprints fall, will determine how much new stuff is in them, specifically for Deep Madness. But, well, thank you, Carl. Just saw your comment here that you loved the way we ran Dom and how it was a true KS. Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. That means, honestly, that means more than you know. From our perspective, the Dawn of Madness campaign was challenging. That's probably the nicest way I can put it. But I really appreciate that you enjoyed, or that you liked the way it was ran, and thanks for sticking with it. Thanks for sticking with the game. Thanks everyone who's backed it. Thanks for sticking with the game and for being a part of it and for helping us to make it happen. I really do feel like we have something special on our hands with it. And I realize I am far from a unbiased source, but there aren't a lot of things that feel like what Dawn of Madness feels like. And it's something that I personally am so very excited for. So I can't wait for people to get it and play it and hopefully enjoy it as much as I think people might. So especially if you're, if you really dig into the content and what all's in there. Well, thank you, Game Hoarder. I thanks for seconding Carl there. Seen a lot of companies lose detail with the switch to hips from resin. Well, we're using a hips company who is very sought after. They are very sought after. And in fact, they might be the same company that does Warhammer. Don't quote me on that. I'm not positive about that, but they're a company that does a lot with minis specifically. Because a lot of HIPS companies, they do minis and then they do other stuff. And so they have very little time on their schedule even for minis. But this is a company that their focus is minis, and they really have it dialed in well. And yeah, Roger is very much a perfectionist. So when he says something is good, it's good. So yeah. How many boxes you plan for Celestial and how many factions it includes? Any plans for lore book for Celestial and art book is highly desirable too. Alex, I'm sure we will be able to accommodate pretty much all of those. As far as how many boxes, I'm honestly not positive off the top of my head, because there's a couple of big game boxes, but and then there's a couple of smaller boxes, and then a couple of smaller still boxes. So I'm not positive off the top of my head how many boxes there will be total, but probably at least 6, including all the tiny ones, including the tiny guys, because I know there's a couple of tiny ones and a couple of mediums. So I'd say that's a fair bet. As far as lore book, yes, absolutely. We absolutely want to write novels for Celestial. We want to write lore for Celestial. We want to write all sorts of stuff for Celestial. It has an insane world. It's all based in Chinese mythology, but at the same time, it's cyberpunk, it's steampunk, it's Game of Thrones, it's cutthroat, and it's impactful, and there's so much going on in it. So yeah, it's going to be very cool, and I'm sure there will definitely be books. And absolutely, I'm sure there will be an art book too, because how could we not have an art book for Celestial? Okay, so let's see, guys. Ballpark it for me, Byron. I can't, Russ. I really can't. I honestly don't know. Man, I'd love to give you a ballpark, but I'm just not sure. Yeah, I have a feeling any ballpark I give could be wildly off, and that could be up or down. So it's probably better if I don't say anything yet. But as we get closer, I should have more information for you guys. Okay, so Phil, definitely sticking with KS as opposed to GameFound? Not necessarily. I think there are advantages to both. Like, so the big advantage to GameFound is it's free. But a disadvantage then is, we're then tied to the GameFound backend, which once again is free. But I've noticed there's a lot less maneuverability in the back end of GameFound with Twisted Fables. There's a lot of things we can't do in GameFound that we could do in BackerKit. So we definitely have more flexibility, and it's probably a better experience in backer kit. And I don't know, maybe not for backer, maybe not for you guys. But there's more we can do in backer kit. So I don't know. That would be one hindrance to using GameFound. Another one would be seeing how littler games do on GameFound. Like, so for Celestial, obviously that's a big game. So we could, and I know some big games have done really well on GameFound. I don't know. We haven't really decided for sure yet which way we would go, whether GameFound or Kickstarter. Maybe let me know what you guys think, what you guys prefer. Do you prefer Kickstarter? Do you guys prefer GameFound? I don't know that we're... I think we might be willing to go either direction, honestly. For the littler stuff, I almost feel like Kickstarter might be better. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe GameFound was better for little stuff. I don't know. Just give me the credit card. Don't look at the statement for 2 or 3 months. There you go. Let's see here, guys. Oh, I mentioned something in passing, and then it jumped. No, come back, comment. Oh, man. I'm behind in comments, aren't I? Oh, yikes. Okay. Okay. Some DM minis will be recasted. Will we older backers be able to upgrade if we want? Of course. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, if we end up redoing DM minis, absolutely, you guys would be able to upgrade without buying the full game or whatever again. Yeah. Now, yeah, there's absolutely. And I mean, I can't say for 100% certainty that would happen, the recasting, but it's certainly something we've been considering and kicking around, because there's a lot of our minis that we like, but we know they could be better. Like, I mean, one of my favorites, Dimension Rift. The team didn't see that physical mini until we got to our first year at Gen Con, and I looked at it and I was like, oh, this is awesome. Roger looked at it, he's like, oh, it's so small. So that yeah, he didn't even realize it was going to be as tiny as it was. So yeah, so there's definitely some room for improvement there. Is it going to happen for sure? I don't know. But it certainly could. Any cool news about Dawn of Madness? Well, I think we've had a lot during the course of this thing, Samuel, so you might want to take a look back at the earlier stream. Off the top of my head, oh, you know what? Sure, why not? For those who have just joined us later, let's go ahead and let's show the this guy again. Okay, show this again. So here's the king and his stage. And here is the guy whose name I can never remember on the stage. I'll just turn him on here. Well, I didn't do that very well. Oh well. Let's see. Where'd that piece of paper go? See if that. I don't know. Did this work better with doing this in paper front of the paper, guys? I don't know. Not really. Nah. Not too much. Yeah, so that's kind of some cool Dawn of Madness stuff. As far as other stuff, let's see, what else? Real quick. Your pronunciation is close to reality. Yes! It's as good as I can hope for, really. Well, thank you. I'm so glad that you've been with us, Bence. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. And like I said, we will have a Deep Menace reprint at some point. It is coming, I promise. Yeah, yeah, Russ. The campaign. Yeah, that was tough. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it, though. I'm glad a lot of people enjoyed it. That's great. I'm glad to hear that. And thanks, Himley, for the trust on the hips and that sort of stuff. That's great. So Russ, that's a good question about how the board looks. I honestly haven't seen the board. I don't know if I've ever seen the board actually for Celestial. I've edited a lot of the cards. I've done a lot of the other stuff, but I don't know if I've actually seen the board. So I can't tell you if it's hex or not. I'm sorry about that. It does have a board, though. It does have a board. It's not quite Warhammer-ish, where it doesn't have one. I mean, you could probably do it Warhammer-ish if you wanted to, but want them to fit on the shelves. Yes, no, I absolutely hear you, Himley. And I realized as I was doing this that was going to freak people out. Oh, man, I wonder if I have the art for the Celestial box. I bet I do somewhere. One sec. Let me see if I can find that for you guys. I want to show you guys that art for the first box. I don't think I have the second box art. But I should have the first. And it's nuts. It's cool looking. Okay, so one second here, guys, while I fish through all my files to try to find this. I should have had it set aside beforehand, and I didn't. Come on. Okay. I'll try to do a couple things at once here. Okay, well, I have the box render I did, but do I have the actual art? Well, I guess I can at least show you guys the box render I made. It's not great. This is not an official box render, but at least you can see the art on it. Yeah, all right. I'll just show you guys this. Like I said, not final box. Just a little render I put together, but it does at least show the art. Okay. Okay, can you guys see it? So that's the box for the first box of Celestial. At least roughly, very roughly, kind of, you know. Period. Yeah, I just saw your comment here about the KDM stuff. Me too. Me too, my friend. Man, we still have stuff coming for probably what, 4 years on that? I don't know. Well, thank you. I appreciate the kind words there. That means a lot. Shouldn't be the wait for Siege of the Citadel, though. Yeah, or KDM, or yeah, a lot of the we'll wait for the sting of Celestial Money. Let's see here. Oh, I guess I can get rid of this. You guys have probably seen this long enough. There. Sorry. Let's see, guys. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up now on some of these comments here. Oh, did you? I'm sorry, Bill. That's my bad. I'll look back and I'll see if I can find that. Yeah. Okay. Oh, StarCraft. Well, yes, and StarCraft is definitely one of the inspirations. But yes, they're being careful to avoid complete StarCraft ripoff. And yes, I believe it is the normal height at least, though it might be long. It might be long. And like I said, this is just a rough render that I made. It's not not an official thing or anything like that. Is vindictive enough to even sue anyone that even slightly resembles him. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I see where you're coming from. And we'll definitely be sure to avoid any copyright infringements. Absolutely. Okay, well, any last second stuff you guys wanted to go over real fast? As you see, Russ, we're now well over 2 hours and 30 minutes. The Edge from Awakened Realms. Oh, oh yeah. Yeah, I have the Edge. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I could see that. I could see that. Sure. Games Workshop and Blizzard seem like the wrong companies to piss off. Yes, that's true. Yeah, from a size of the big box from the Edge was ridiculous. Yes, it was. Though, didn't it fit everything in it? Like, if I'm remembering, I didn't get the big box. I got a couple of faction boxes. But please post box renders for Celestial in your Facebook group. Okay, I'll see what I can do there, Alex. Like I said, it's not an official render. It's not necessarily what the official box is going to look like. It's just something I threw together in Photoshop. But yes, I'll. It's only 1:38. What are you still doing here, Emily? I've got more Red Bull. Oh man. It's got the 6 OG. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I just didn't have the money to go all in on it. Those minis were so cool. I still have some of them sitting around here. But yeah. Okay. But we really should, if for no one else's sake than Himley's, we should start wrapping up probably pretty soon. So anyone else have anything else you want to go over real fast? Like any last second questions? I mean, sure, if you guys fill up the questions, then yeah, we could keep going for a while. But TF, future Fables, were you planning on keeping it female or branching? Oh, I think you mentioned this up above and I missed it. Okay. Or branching out to male Fables too. I would love for us to branch out to male Fables. I don't know. That's. I'm used to being awake till 5 or 6. And Perion, I completely hear you on that. Like, I backed it, but like I said, I only backed part of it. I didn't get the whole thing. Do I regret it now? Well, on the one hand, yes, because there were some awesome minis in there. On the other hand, I've never played The Edge. So okay, but yeah, so back to the Fables. I would like to see male Fables in there too, or more variety of Fables. I would definitely like more variety of Fables. Like I said, I'm not really positive what all of the different Fables that are currently in development are, so I can't say for sure one way or another how that's going to work out. But it would be cool to, like, do a dude pack or something. I don't know. Yeah, I think that would be cool. But we will see. We will see. I can't promise that, but it's something I would like to see happen. Just like I would definitely like to see more diversity, I guess, in the lineup or whatever. But anyways, with regards to Dom, have Roger and the team got near to finishing the gameplay side of things, or still more work to do? Oh, there's still work to do. Absolutely, there's still work to do. I mean, for starters, we don't have the finished game board yet. In my humble opinion, I'm happy to keep TF female and make a spinoff for the males. Well, and that might be what ends up happening too, Himley. Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if there are many guys currently that they're working on. I do know there's at least 4 Fables that they're working on, but I'm not positive if any of them are guys or not. But yeah, so there's definitely still some gameplay stuff to work on and that sort of stuff. It isn't just me that for Dawn of Madness. No, it's a big game. And so there's definitely still gameplay stuff that's being worked out, and like a lot of cards and that sort of stuff still need tweaking, still need fine-tuning, play testing, that sort of stuff. So yeah, there's definitely still work to go, and but they're making very good progress on it, and filling in a lot of the gaps as I'm filling in the stories. So because that's kind of a cool thing, is like where you're able to have the stories kind of work into the gameplay, kind of be enmeshed in the gameplay, especially in those finales. Those finales are I'm really looking forward to the finales. Peter Pan would still be awesome in TF, since it's basically a story explaining child mortality. So he would make an excellent necromancer. Oh my gosh, a Peter Pan necromancer. You're right, Phil. That is a fantastic idea. That is fantastic. I love it. I love it so much. The models were too tempting. So when, yeah, exactly, Russ. I totally know where you're coming from there. Haven't played it, but those minis. And I am also happy you bought the Monster Box game hoarder. I hope you enjoy it. Been home for so long, I really mixed up the time to sleep and wake up. Yeah, it sounds like you completely flipped. You're on my time. Any chance to have some FB posts with celestial lore and good pictures? Yes, absolutely, Alex. Especially as we're moving closer to the campaign, we're going to start just pumping out lots of celestial stuff. I will admit, I have been terrible about communication in general, really. Like, I'll just be perfectly blunt and honest. I've been pretty bad about communication, and this is the start of a new day doing this live stream right here. So, but yes, we're going to have a lot more celestial lore, a lot of pictures, a lot of info. We're going to just start a steady drip coming up towards the campaign with lots of cool stuff in it. So you're absolutely going to get to see that stuff coming up. Yes, definitely. Will the Beauty and Beast still be the original female Beauty and male Beast, or maybe a switch in gender roles as an alt sculpt? There is a switch, but I can't tell you exactly what it is yet, partially because I forgot. It's been a while since I talked with Roger about it. But it's not the traditional Beauty and Beast. I remember that. Is it a gender swap? I don't know about that one. But it is definitely different, as are all of the Fables. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so real quick, CJ. You were wondering about the ETA on Dawn of Madness. So we've gone over this a couple times previously, so you might want to go back and watch the earlier feed. But I'll just say really quick, we did announce a month or two back that we had a delay for Dawn of Madness. So we're now looking at next October as opposed to this October. So there's a definite delay there. But we're looking to have it out by then. So hopefully that helps. Yeah, I totally know where you're coming from there, Himley. And yeah, I know that a lot of people have mentioned wanting guys. Like, honestly, I don't care too much one way or another. I care more because other people have cared than I care myself. Like, I have no problem playing a female or, that sort of thing in Twisted Fables. So, but yes, I completely understand where you're coming from on there. When you're sick, timelines all of a sudden really rain on one's parade. That true story. Is Peter Pan out of copyright? Yes, he is. Peter Pan that's an old book. And while it is a Disney character, it is not officially a Disney character. Like, Disney can't say that no one else can use Peter Pan. Just like they can't say no one can use Snow White or, Little Mermaid or that sort of thing. Okay, so anyways, let's see here. About the two boxes for Dawn of Madness. I haven't heard anything about them recently. I believe they're still being designed to a certain degree. I don't think we've gotten any samples or anything. And honestly, I don't think they'll show up till Wave 2. I'm pretty sure they were a Wave 2 thing. So they're still probably a ways off from having real solid samples to show you guys on those. But as soon as we have them, we'll show them. So now I will say that the miniature box that comes, the core game miniature box, that is being made right now. So, and I think I mentioned that maybe in the last update. But so they're making the trays now, they're making the box now, and then they're going to start making the minis actually now, or in the not too distant future, just to get a little bit of a heads up. And then the mini boxes will just sit there and look pretty till the rest of the game is up and running. So we might legitimately have copies of those to show before too long, but probably not the two big game boxes. I am currently painting the TF minis for my brother in between all three of my jobs. Oh, you're a busy man, Bill. Hoping the flap design works better than the DM boxes. Yeah, I think there's almost no doubt that they there's no doubt that the boxes are going to be better than they were before. Okay, guys. Sorry, it just jumped again. Yes, you have. I'm guessing that's referring to communication. Yes. Okay. So it could be kind of a kinky. I don't know about kinky, but it could definitely be horror. We're known for that sometimes. Stepson works at Long Beach. Oh man, he has my sympathies. Hope it's going well for him. I know it's been pretty tough in the whole shipping industry. So I do not envy him right now. Nice trilby. Why, thank you, Simon. The neck beard needs more work. Well, I'll be honest. The neck beard actually gets shaved off a lot. So yeah, but you're correct. Yes, you're absolutely right, Russ. That's something that drives me crazy when a character is blatantly one thing and they make them another, unless it's done in a cool way. And it makes sense because I just realized that's exactly what we did for every character in Twisted Fables. So, but anyways, okay. Box miniatures or box covers for Dawn of Madness. Okay, so I've got, boy, I don't have. So I've got that box there, which is the main box, which I'm sure you've probably seen that one already. Let me know if you'd like to see that closer up, though. As far as, are you thinking like images, that sort of thing? Alex, your comment there about the more box pictures or box covers. I think most of those are on the campaign page. In fact, I think all of those are on the campaign page. I might be, maybe not the littler guys, but I don't know if I have those offhand here. And honestly, it probably might take a long time to search through and find them. Let's see. Let's see if I can find anything. The Danish girl did make a nice Terminator, though. Oh, goodness. Okay. One day Byron will prepare all his minis before stream. True. But then someone will ask for a mini that I didn't prepare, so I still won't have prepared them all. Okay, Anthony. Well, have a great night, and thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate hanging out with us. Have a board game recording. Okay, so still love that Dom box art. Me too. I do as well. Maybe you have plans to have a board game according with Native American mythology. That would be really great. We don't have anything currently, Alex, but that is an interesting idea. Like Wendigos and that sort of thing. That's some awesome stuff right there. Yeah, unfortunately, nothing in the pipeline right now. If anything, maybe like a Twisted Fables character, potentially. But I don't think there's even one. I don't know if there's even one of those right now. But yeah, it's a really interesting idea. Oh, any chance of a sphere miniature big enough to put a game tile on in around for DM? That would be amazing. That would be absolutely amazing. I have no idea if there's a chance of that, Phil. I have no clue. But it would be so cool. It would be easy to sculpt. I guess that's one thing. Unless we did like a cool, like where it was like a tearaway, where it was only like part of the sphere, and then you could like see inside it and all this stuff. Kind of like, I guess, kind of like with the little marker we made, but obviously better. We'll hit the 3-minute. Oh, you're right. Oh man, we're so close to 3 hours now, aren't we? I guess we just did explain the vision of a sphere model. Yes, I see what you're saying, Himley. Yeah, I totally get it. Ruben, good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping by. What's wrong with using a bowling ball? I mean, yeah, just paint it iridescent colors and you're good to go. Oh, then you could play inside. That's awesome. That's a great idea. And Nurse Ruben. Good to see you too. Man, all the Rubens came in at once. That's great. Good to see you guys. The planet is not a big enough sphere model for a DM. Yeah, I would as well, Russ. That would be fantastic. That'd be so awesome. Well, thank you. That's awesome. I'm so glad you enjoyed them. To Nurse Ruben. That's fantastic. I'm glad you got a chance to see that or to read that. And I'm glad you enjoyed it. Oh, there's only one Ruben. So wait, did you just change your name? Oh, I see. You're on Facebook and you're on YouTube. That's what's going on. You're on both. You're messing with me, man. Clearly Byron is tired. Yes, it's true. But at this point, we've been going we have 1 minute to 3 hours, so we might as well do 3 hours. Okay, so while I know you're working on an expansion for Shattered Seas areas, are you also working on the expansion of the Kadath facility? That would be fantastic. I mean, I think the team is all for making more stuff in Kadath. And I think there's definitely Elbowcop 3 hours. Not yet. We've got 10 seconds. Okay, now it's 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 3 hours. There we go. 3 hours, guys. We've been doing this for 3 hours. Let's go for 4. I will admit, I have missed hanging out with you guys. This is so much fun. We need to do this again soon. Okay, so latest news about Twisted Fables. So Ruben, real quick, there's a few more coming down the pipeline. Rewind to a little bit earlier to see some cool images. I could just show you the image again. Okay, 3 hours straight while we return. Thank you, Russ. I appreciate it. Okay, here, Ruben. One sec. Since you just were able to join us here, let me. I'll show you this image of Mulan for some of the stuff that's coming up. Okay. No, that is not the what? No, it was right there. That's not the image I said to do. There. Stay. There we go. Okay. So this is this is a Mulan, obviously, possible playmat image, and also possibly for a new type of card called a world card, which would impact the game as you're playing. Oh, you saw it already. Well, fine. Should make for interesting designs after working on the live streams. True story. Surely we need to move beyond Kadath. Well, Phil, I will say I would love to move beyond Kadath. I would love to show what happens after Shattered Seas and after Deep Madness. I think that would be so much fun to do. I don't know if the guys are up for it or not, but I'm totally up for it. So, yeah. Okay. Are there plans to do statues of all the TF characters or just the Little Mermaid right now? So I think at this point it's just the Little Mermaid, but I think they want to do more. So I think they want to do a whole line of them. I don't know when that's going to happen. I don't know if they'd all be released at once or if they'd be released at one at a time. I kind of suspect one at a time because I know there's a lot of work that goes into it. But I do believe that they do want to do more. And not just Twisted Fables either. There's talk about doing celestial ones. There's talk about doing other ones potentially. I mean, I would be down for some Deeper Dawn ones personally, but I'm kind of sick and twisted, so maybe others would disagree with that. But yeah, so there, I do believe that there's plans to do more. So, anyways, this picture kind of reminds me of the Marvel girl. Is it Psylocke? I don't know, Russ. Could be. It could definitely be. Um, a Shrek fable. That one is copyrighted. We can't use that one. uh, um, okay, I think I missed a few comments here. Going back up. If the TF statues are ever made, will they be pre-painted? Yes, I'm fairly certain they will be pre-painted. I think that the company that they're working with is essentially like a Sideshow Collectibles company. They're not Sideshow Collectibles, but they're a company that does statues similar to Sideshow Collectibles. So I would expect it to be pre-painted, pretty high quality stuff. But yeah, so I would guess pre-painted. What's my favorite Dawn of Madness character? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I like them all for very different reasons. They're all very different characters and very different stories. I guess Linus. Maybe Linus. Which is funny because his is the one that needs the most work at this point. But yeah, I don't know. They're all really great in their own way. And so Russ, seeing your, I appreciate it. I thank you for being willing to help out on the whatever's coming next. I'm sure I will be employing your services. The statues have no gameplay value, I think. That is absolutely correct, Ruben. The statue is, first of all, enormous. It's like, I think it's 70 or 80 centimeters tall, something like that. So no gameplay value. Not at all. I love Sick and Twisted. Glad to see there's more than one of us. Yeah, Phil, Russ is really good. I would love to see some DM or Dom statues too. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. They'd look awesome in the library. Yes. Oh dear, it jumped. The Celestial Box Girl reminds me of Sarah Kerrigan. I will have to admit, Game Hoarder, I will have to look up who Sarah Kerrigan is. Sorry. Did Byron say when the next Twisted Fables Kickstarter is? Probably next year sometime, after Celestial. So not right away, but sometime after Celestial. From StarCraft. Okay, I will go look her up. Yes, that is correct, Ruben. It should be October-ish next year that we get Dawn of Madness out. Yeah. Oh, turned into the Zerg Queen. Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Well, guys, we've now been going for 3 hours and 9 minutes. I'm sure we'll make it to 3 hours and 10 minutes, but we probably should still call it quits. But it was a blast hanging out with you all. Any last second questions? Send them in now. Yeah, it's been a blast hanging out with you all again. It's been way too long. We need to do this again much sooner. Maybe in a month or two. I don't know. We'll see. I know we're getting into holidays and stuff, so I know it'll be crazy for people. But yeah, it's been a blast, guys. So last second questions. Going once, going twice. Type quick. Yeah, it was great to hang out with you too, Russ, and thanks for being here, buddy. yeah, it was great to be able to say that things are moving along, Phil, and thanks for being here, man. You too, Game Hoarder. Thank you. Yes, Himley, this has been a blast. And Joel, yes, I also am looking forward to the third version of Deep Madness. Yep, that I have been promising it for so long. We have to get it out to people sooner or later. Oh, Nico-chan, I'm sorry, but we are just wrapping up. But I've answered that question several other times. So if you go back a little bit in the video, you should be able to see all that stuff. So, because we went into all that pretty in depth. So, yeah, it's progressing well. It is progressing nicely. It's behind, but it is making good progress. Maybe to finish off, do a fast recap of all the different game info as a TLDR for latecomers. Oh no. Okay. All right. Well, have a great night, Bill. Thanks so much for being here. It's great to see you. Yes, Joel, definitely check. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, and I'm sorry it's 3 hours to wade through, but but yeah, definitely, guys, definitely. So okay, let's do this. So because I know there are a couple new folks. So Russ, that's a good idea. Let's do just a quick TLDR. Dawn of Madness. Emily's basically done. Catherine, we have a huge chunk of hers done. Claude, making really good progress on his. Linus still have to work on his stuff. So we have the least for Linus currently. And then for Celestial, Celestial will be our next project. It'll be launching probably Q1 next year. It has minis like this and like this. And so it's big. It's a big game. And so that's our next project. And then we will have a follow-up Twisted Fables campaign and a Deep Madness reprint sometime after that. And I don't know exactly when at this point, but hopefully next year. Minis, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Oh, and since you guys probably didn't get to see them, I showed this off earlier in the stream too. So we've got the king and his stage. So this is from Dawn of Madness. We showed this a couple updates ago, but hey, might as well show them here. And here is that special mini that we threw in that was runner-up for the king and whose name I cannot remember. just big, and he's nasty, and he's awesome. Yeah, so those are a couple of the Dawn of Madness things that we showed off earlier too. Yeah, he's pretty cool. So hopefully that helps for the guys who are just tuning in. And I'm sorry that we can't stick around longer, but we have been going at this for like 3 hours and 15 minutes now. So I'm glad you like Nico-chan. That's great. I'm glad. And you bet, Joel. I'm glad to show that stuff off for you. So, thanks, CJ. And you bet. I'm happy to do it. Talk about the next level of minis, which aren't minis. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So, okay, guys. I think we're going to call it quits this time. So have a great night, everyone. For those on in the Europe area, please go to bed. Himley, here's looking at you. And thanks so much, everyone, for being here. This has been an absolute blast. Yeah, from minis to bigatures. Yeah, pretty much. All right. Well, have a great night, everyone, and I'll talk with you all later. Bye for now.